All right, let's talk about something really important, high blood pressure. But forget all the complicated medical jargon and confusing charts. Instead, we're going to take a little trip. We're going to step inside the most incredible factory in the universe to see exactly how it works and, what happens when things start to go a little wrong. So picture this with me. Your body, it's a huge, bustling orange juice factory. Inside, everything is just humming along perfectly. You've got oranges rolling on conveyor belts, getting squeezed, and this fresh, sweet juice is flowing through this whole network of shiny silver pipes. Everything is balanced, it's alive, it's in a perfect rhythm.
So, before we dive into any of the problems, let's just take a quick tour of this factory when it's running in absolute perfect harmony. First things first, what are the key parts that keep that juice flowing?
Right at the center of the whole operation, you've got the main juice pump. This, of course, is your heart. It's the most important machine in the entire building, and it works tirelessly, day and night, pushing that vital juice to every single corner of the factory. And the juice itself? Well, that's your blood. It's carrying all the good stuff, all the energy, the nutrients, the oxygen that every single machine and every worker in that factory needs to stay healthy and productive. That juice travels through this incredible, intricate network of shiny silver pipes. We call them blood vessels. They twist and turn and reach every last part of the building, making sure no machine ever goes thirsty. It really shows you just how connected the whole system is.
Now, to get the juice through all those pipes, you actually need some pressure. And this is a good thing. Healthy pressure keeps the whole flow smooth and steady. It's just strong enough to nourish everything, but it's gentle enough that it doesn't do any damage to those delicate pipes. It really is a perfect balance.
But what happens when that perfect balance is lost? This is where our story takes a bit of a turn as the pressure inside the factory starts to climb way, way too high.
It's almost as if one morning the factory manager just storms in and starts shouting, "More juice, faster, more pressure." The main pump starts to really strain, the pipes begin to tremble, and all of a sudden, the entire system is under a ton of stress. This right here, this is the moment that high blood pressure, hypertension, begins. So why does this even happen? Well, there are a few key reasons. First, you could have what we'll call thick juice. Eating too much salt literally makes the juice thicker and harder to pump. Second, you might get stiff pipes from not enough exercise, which makes them lose their flexibility. Then you've got the shouting manager. That's just chronic stress, constantly yelling at your heart to work harder and harder. And finally, sometimes it's a bad building, and that's just genetics. Sometimes the factory was just built with pipes that are a little bit tighter. But here is the really, really tricky part. When all this pressure starts to rise, you might not feel a thing. This is exactly why hypertension has such a scary nickname, the silent killer.
On the outside, everything seems totally fine. It feels like nothing's wrong. There are no alarms going off, no flashing red lights, no visible leaks coming from the pipes. But inside? Oh, inside, a slow and very serious crisis is unfolding. The constant high pressure is making the pipes hard and brittle, almost like old orange peels. The main pump is getting totally overworked, and tiny little cracks are starting to form all throughout the system.
And over time, that hidden damage leads to some catastrophic failures. In our factory, this could mean pipes bursting in critical areas, which cause strokes. It could lead to pump failure, which is heart failure. The factory's filters, your kidneys, they can get all clogged up. And even the teeny tiny pipes in your eyes can get damaged, blurring your vision. All of this from one single problem, too much pressure. Okay, I know that sounds pretty scary, but here's the beautiful part of the story. Your orange juice factory can absolutely be repaired. It is not doomed. We have a whole toolbox full of really clever fixes to get things running smoothly again. So, your very first step is super simple. Check the pressure gauge. This is your blood pressure test. It's a quick, totally painless way to find out if your pipes are working too hard and if the factory might need just a little bit of attention. And that number you get, it is not something to be afraid of. Think of it more like a friendly message from your body. It's your factory's way of just politely saying, "Hey, the juice is flowing a little too fast in here. We should probably slow things down a bit." So once you have that message, you can open up your toolbox, and you've got some great tools in there. You have pressure regulators. That's medication that can help relax the pipes. You can oil the machines with exercise to keep those pipes nice and flexible. You can make lighter juice just by eating less salt, which eases the flow. You can give the pump a break with good rest and sleep, and you can even relax the pipes with something as simple and fun as laughter and reducing stress. And this
brings us to the most important part of our entire story. All these tools, all these checks, they all point to one single person who can make all the difference.
So, after seeing how it all works, the pumps, the juice, the pipes, the whole repair kit, who do you think is really in charge of your factory?
You are. You're the manager. You're the one who decides how to maintain the machines, what kind of juice to make, and when it's time to ease up on the pressure. You are in charge of keeping this whole incredible operation running smoothly. And when you eat well, and you move often, and you stay calm, you're not just being healthy. You're being a great manager. You are protecting the sweetest, most complex, and most valuable juice factory in the entire universe, your body.